Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. This is Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. I'm gonna say this allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. For a while now, the National Guard has occupied DC. They're about to be deployed to Chicago. But if you notice, people have been seeing military vehicles damn near in every state. What's about to happen? The president haven't been seen in 4 days. The Pentagon pizza index thing is skyrocketing. During crises, when they staying late, they order a lot of pizza from surrounding, pizza places. So when those numbers go up, it lets you know that something is going on. Over across the pond, people of the EU, far as heads of states, they've been getting together, talking whether if Putin invades Ukraine again and tries to push past the Ukraine, they're saying we're going to jump in and defend the Ukraine. The only issue is the EU has been allies with the United States ever since I think World War II, I think. And the thing that is happening now, they're trying to figure two things out. Would the US be allies to them and help fight off Russia? Or would US fight on the side of Russia? Now, see, this is the problem. And this is the problem that they're facing over there. Now, see, they've been having us look left when we should have been looking right. They've been talking about Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, and we're not looking at the president. Usually at these particular times, holidays and things like that, he's always somewhere being vocal. You see him all the time, but now you don't. And the thing is, you got people who are historians leaving the country. Why are they leaving? It's like certain people leaving the country, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell is about to happen. Bro, you remember back when they were pushing Kobe Bryant's death, him and his daughter from the airplane crash and all that stuff? You remember how they were pushing that? COVID was right there. They had it on the last page, third, fourth page, and Kobe was on the front. So they used that as a smokescreen. Rest in peace, Kobe and his daughter. But if you look at how they doing this Taylor Swift thing, it's being pushed real hard. I'm like, why are they pushing it so hard? Two people getting married. I'm very happy for them, great people, but why are we doing this? Now, if you look at it and think about it, you see what's truly happening, man. There's something bigger at play here. You know, have we been invaded already? Have we been already taking over? Somebody have conquered us already. And what's the tie with Israel and all of this stuff, man? What is really going on? See, I have nothing against nobody nowhere, but I'm looking at the bigger picture. This is not adding up. See, when you start thinking about conspiracy theories, see, people think everything is a conspiracy, and it's not. The truth most of the time is hiding right in your face, and nobody wants to see it. See, this is what happens when, we think everything is okay. Dude, it seems like they're setting the U.S. up for martial law, because that's what happens when you put military everywhere. Martial law. After you get us to martial law, what are you about to do at this time? Pay attention. There's some shit about to happen. This is why I said, from time to time, I'd be anxious, I'd be nervous. You could feel the vibes in the air that something's not right. Somebody was talking to me about history the other day, and I said history is written by winners. If you heard what the losers had to say, you might be scared. People don't tell you the whole story. You only find out shit years later. And see, we slowly finding out that these past, what, 1,000 years have been all false. The history that we were told, everything from landing in this country, all of that's false. Dude, it's wild how this happens. You know, I'm not gonna go really far down the rabbit hole, but I'm gonna tell you something. When people who was at the forefront of things are no longer even at the forefront, now we're looking at the fact that, man, we might have to start worrying about the government. The right to bear arms is every U.S. citizen's right. And if you got a gun, I think you should hold on to it. You don't know what's about to happen. Because, like I said, things are getting scarce, resources are getting hard to come by, jobs are not hiring, um, food prices are up, gas prices through the roof. They're raising the rates on the electric vehicles, where they go charge at. Dude, it's crazy. You think the healthcare's bonkers? Dude, they're raising healthcare premiums and stuff like that. Your co-pays and everything. Yes. Dude, there's something coming. You know, all of this, everything has something to do with something, bro. And this is something that you really need to pay attention to. Man, just keeping it a being, keeping it 100. I want you to understand, man, most of the time we think we know what's going on, man. And most of the time we don't. We sit back and we listen to people talk, but we're not digging deeper. A lot of you all ask me why I don't go deeper. When you go deeper, things get dangerous, and you become on people's radars. When you speak in a certain type of truth, and that truth has a lot of truth in it. See, usually when you hear truth, you don't hear 100% truth. You hear like 5 to 10% truth, and the rest of it is just all false. But when somebody's speaking 50% of the truth, it gets crazy because you jump up on people's radars. This is why I say digging down the rabbit hole, digging the tunnel to go down the rabbit hole ain't always the best idea. Sometimes it's good to stay on the cusp because you don't get pulled in. You don't become a part of the problem, man. All of these inventors coming up missing. All of these, what you call those things? Patents are coming up stolen out here, bro. What is going on? See, this is the shit nobody's talking about. There have been patents on the book for years for cures for all bloodborne pathogens. Yeah, that's been on the books of the patent books for. And listening to some people talk, they say, well, if you see this in there, no, it's just if anybody came up with a cure, they patent it. No, that ain't what it is. You can't patent make-believe, but you can patent the truth. See, the history, man, the stories that we've been told, man, time, like I said, time is wrong. You can feel it. I don't know if we live in a simulation. I don't know if we live in a matrix. I don't know. Because, see, a lot of these movies, even Avatar, a lot of them point at something that we all missed. If you realize that the story of Superman was based off of Jesus Christ. Dude, when you hear stuff like that, you don't pay no attention because you don't think about it. And that's the thing that you look at. This is the stuff that you pay attention to, man. You keep pushing. This is why I was pointing out some things for people to really take a look at. Time travel and all that stuff, man. They've been messing with time, bro. You know, we were saying, hey, maybe we went into an alternate dimension. Maybe, you know, no. Maybe somebody went back and changed time. This is why so much stuff is different. It only takes one person to change something, going back in time. And I'm talking about if you go invest in stocks back in the day and all of a sudden you become rich, you change time, period. It only takes one thing to change time, bro. And this is what I think is happening. There are a lot of changes. And I think somebody constantly going back trying to change it. And we got the butterfly effect. You know, I believe, honestly, man, that we're awakening something here, bro. The portals are in the sky. Dude, you seen more than one sun up in the air? I'm trying to figure that out. I'm like, why do we got more than one sun up? But people are like, oh no, that's what you call a optical illusion. You know, I'm like, that optical illusion is damn near hot over there. What is going on? What's going on is the program sometimes slips. Dude, this reality we in, I don't know what number it is. You know, they're finding old artifacts from, you know, past civilizations, bro. They talk to us about the dark ages. There wasn't no damn dark ages. They jumped time. And, you know, you ain't nowhere near 2000 yet. And this is how they lied to us, bro. If you read some of these books, you pay attention, you will understand. It's crazy how this works, bro. You know, people so busy thinking about all this other foolishness and they ain't worried about the real shit. See, the real shit is getting dangerous. Back during World War II, the Navy, they were awoken in the middle of the night by this large sea serpent, told by a lot of different people that were on the boat. It was attacking. They had high-powered, machinery. They were putting dents in this thing. You know, it disappeared. But I'm gonna say this though. What make you think Leviathan is not real? There are so many references to Leviathan. See, the thing is that I look at is we don't want you to know the truth. That's what I think a lot of people is. You know, out there, you know, think about it. Look, during COVID, Anthony Fauci was like, what, the #1 guy? You know, all of a sudden, you come to find out his ass was a patent-stealing thief, bro. You come to find out, where is he at now? They were trying to throw his ass in jail. Dude, it's wild as hell. It's wild how billionaires got even richer. Millionaires became billionaires during that time. And billionaires damn near trillionaires. It's crazy how they played us for fools. And it's crazy how we're sitting here looking at society about to fall. You know, they're trying to make it seem like all of these floods and all of these disasters are AI generated. Dude, I can tell you, in Chicago ain't no AI generation of no damn floods. These are real damn floods. You know, people cars get flooded out. You know, people homes get flooded out. That ain't AI. See, they trying to point it out and trying to make it seem like it's, you know, AI. But AI is evil. AI is lost souls, bro. Anytime, like I told you before, that you could put salt around an electric vehicle, I'm talking about rock salt that you put out during the wintertime and it won't move. It's letting you know there's something different. You know, said if you put salt down in front of your door, nothing evil could pass. So is the car evil? Food for thought. But again, till later, peace out, fam.